Hi, Ariel.
Hi, Helen.
So, Big World History, our next learning resource, a full history curriculum starting with the beginning of the universe,
yes,
up until now, is coming
into the future.
Is coming out July 28th. And we wanted to show people the book, right?
Well, there's lots of books. We can't have just one book.
That's true.
But the main spine for middle and elementary is
Absolutely Everything, A History of Earth, Dinosaurs, Rulers, Robots, and Other Things, Too Numerous to Mention by Christopher Lloyd. It's also great on audiobook form, and hopefully you can get it at your library.
Yeah, but here's the important part, that revised and expanded, because there is a blue version of this book that I read and was like disqualified as even an option. The red is
the red cover.
Much better.
Okay, Ariel, so show us a little bit, if you'll take us through this book and why you like it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so since we are studying big world history, we have to go through the Big Bang into the future. And this book does it in a fun, easy to read, entertaining, beautifully graphically arranged way. We've got this timeline that runs along the spine, the whole way, not the spine, the other side.
The edge,
The edge, thanks. Anyway, fun facts. So all of the science stuff at the beginning is really good, and big fan. This chart is one of the things that they didn't get exactly right, but we'll talk about what they got wrong as a learning opportunity there.
Awesome.
So we're going to move from how the universe and our solar system and our planet and our moon were created, why those things made it suitable for life. We'll go on to get out of the oceans and onto the land in chapter 2 and learn about the first plants and fungi and all kinds of stuff like that. And then we get animals walking on land. So we're going to move through the development of different animals, and then we'll get to humans. We're going to move from how we developed from our ape ancestors. And it's all very cool. Here's an example of one of the things that I like about this book. In some books where you're learning about our ancestors, all of the Homo erectus, etc., are white people, which is not appropriate.
Yeah, it's nice to have this historically accurate and scientifically accurate
They did a
representation.
careful job with that, yeah.
Great.
Here's another thing that I like about this book. Now, it does not get everything right, but they say that people first arrived in the land we now call Australia 65,000 years ago. A lot of books are still saying 50,000, but that date has been pushed back, and this one has.
So this is correct?
That's got the better date, yeah.
Awesome.
Likewise, they did that, said that people arrived in the Americas at least 30,000 years ago. Still, even in our high school world history text, they're still showing maps that show people getting there 12 to 15,000 years ago, which is way outdated and wrong. So this book gets stuff like that right. Another thing I really like about it, this is something I really don't like about Unstoppable Us and Sapiens, is that it's like very confident in its theory that humans and overkill are what killed all of the large mammals and stuff around the world. And this book is more like, we actually don't know, and new science is coming out to say that that's maybe not what happened.
Great.
Instead of just saying that the Fertile Crescent was the birthplace of agriculture, this book takes a more nuanced approach and shows you that at the same time that wheat was being cultivated, was being cultivated. I was so excited to read that. The wheat was being cultivated in Mesopotamia. Those same developments were happening around the world in China and India with rice and millet, and in the Americas with corn and cotton and other things. But the Neolithic Revolution didn't just happen in one place. It happened all around the world. And this book does a good job talking about that. Likewise, when you're learning about the development of writing, it doesn't just focus on cuneiform. It talks about other writing systems around the world. So very fun that way. And then there are errors in this book, and we will talk about them. And there are, of course, things that it doesn't cover that it should. One example of an error in this book is this photo of an Olmec head, which is an Olmec head, but in the caption, if you can look at it, it says that it was discovered in South America near Peru. That doesn't make any sense. And I went on a reverse Google search rabbit hole to try to figure out why would they put that? And the caption on this photo on Google is that it was found there, but that there's no way that it was found in Peru, and these are from Mesoamerica. Anyway,
Interesting.
yeah, there's other stuff like little errors like that too, but there is so much good. This is the Haitian Revolution. They do a really good job talking about many of the things that I hoped to cover. Here's the Scramble for Africa that we'll have a whole lesson on. We both read a lot of history books, and this was the winner.
So Ariel, with this spine as our textbook, you pointed out that there are a lot of errors in it, but why did you choose this one? Does it have the least amount of errors compared to other?
Yeah, there were lots
books?
of pros and cons to weigh, and this one did way better on most of the stuff than other books. It got the timeline right, and it jumped around to other parts of the world better than other elementary and middle grade texts.
So Ariel, you mentioned that this is just one of the many books that we're recommending.
Yeah.
Why? What are some of the other books that you're having us read?
Even though this book does a good job of including more of the corners of the world than some of the other texts we read, it still is deficient in covering the Americas, very much so in covering Oceania. And Africa, I would say, as well. So we have books to fill in those gaps. And also, while this book does have some pro-LGBTQ messaging in it, it's not mentioned very much.
It's not enough for us. We wanted more, right?
Right. So we wanted to fill the gaps that way.
Okay, so this is just a little bit. This is the main spine of our textbook for Big World History, coming out July 28th. And that's also the launch of our biggest sale of the year. Thank you so much, Ariel.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.